Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. Today we're going to do something completely different. I am going to first of all draw and then paint a little girl, a toddler, not much more than a baby, toddling along a path holding a flower. And so first of all I'm going to do the sketch, and this child is moving away. So there's no need to worry about her face. That's a whole other bag of apples, can of worms, or whatever. So she's going away, and so much easier. So I'm starting, instead of with her eyes, I'm starting with her hat. She's got one of these cute little beanie hats on, and it's got a flower attached to it, just there. And yeah, so she's wearing a pair of dungarees, and while I'm drawing this I have to wonder what colour I'm going to do it. This is the second one I've done today. This morning I painted her wearing yellow as a tryout, so this afternoon I think I'm going to do her in pink, just by way of a change. I'm quite interested in painting children. I think it's a lovely thing to do. It makes a change from animals and flowers and so on. But it is tricky if you've got to try and capture a likeness. So I think it's a really good idea, if you want to start with children, to begin by doing some of these rear view paintings. If you look on Pinterest, you'll see lots of this style, children moving away. Which is what they do, I suppose, eventually, isn't it? Anyway, so this one, she's really cute. She can't be more than about 18 months old, I would say. I've made her, and she's toddling along with a flower in her hand that she's going to give to Grandma, and so she's trotting along this little path here, which I haven't drawn yet. So there's her little feet at the bottom there, it's really cute. Then put some spots on her hat, probably pink spots to match the dungarees. There we are. This whole thing is really very delicate, it's a very delicate idea. And I'm going to have her running through the grass kind of thing. So just over here we'll put a little picket fence. This is all going to be painted very lightly, just indicating it. So I just want to roughly sketch in the position where it's going to be. And one over here. And the path, well, we'll put some grass around the fence like that. And then the path is going to be just indicated by these lines like that. And along the side of the path we'll have some flowers. I'm not going to draw them properly because they're going to be just sketchy watercolour blobs. And then maybe using some colour we'll indicate a tree or something like that over here, and over this side it will just be indicating the sky. So there we are. Okay, so if we're going to paint her in pink, we will need pink. So quinacridone pink, and we'll want a clear yellow, so transparent yellow, which we can mix with our blue. And I'm toying with, if we're using pink, we don't want to use turquoise, I don't think, so we'll go with cobalt blue. So the cobalt blue and the transparent yellow will make our greens. The pink will be her dungarees and the flowers. And oh, for skin, we'll need some Naples Yellow, probably, and some raw umber. No, not raw umber. Yes, raw umber. or yellow ochre. One of these brown tones here. I don't know. I have to see what happens when I start. I think that's all we'll need. A big brush. It's 14. Small brush. That's a 7. And let's get started on the painting. Of course, the question is, do I do the background first or do I do the child? And I suppose one thing to bear in mind is if this is the first painting that you're doing today, then you might want to consider doing the background first, like I am. Not that it is the first painting I'm doing today, but you know, just to sort of loosen you up a little bit. Because if you start with the details, you might find you get all sorts of hang-ups and things. So there we are. I've wet the paper behind and I'm just going to pop in some cobalt blue, indicate the sky. This is going to be a very loose and hopefully slightly dreamlike in its mood. At least that's the intention anyway. And I'm going to pop a little bit of yellow over here. Blend that with the blue. Touch more blue to get a sort of soft green. Which we're going to bring down behind the little picket fence there. And I haven't wet this area down here because I'm just going to very lightly put broken paint here with lots of white gaps. Okay. And then a little bit more bluish over here, so we've got yellowish and more on the blue side. There we are. That's very faint, very pale. We'll let that dry and then we'll come back and see where to go next. Okay, so it's nice and dry now, so I'm coming back to carry on, and I'm going to plunge into the pink dungarees, and we want to do this with a certain amount of broken strokes, and think about where the light is going to catch on the baby, which will probably be on her bottom, and to indicate the folds in the fabric as it goes down her legs and so on. Try to vary this a little bit, but we'll obviously need more than one layer of paint for this. So that's the first coat, and then I'm going to give her excuse me, a white hat, so we'll just put a little bit of shadow around the bit where it folds like that initially. Soften that a little bit, and then I'm going to just drop in some little pink dots. And we'll give her a pink flower here and another one here in her hand. I'll put a yellow centre in there later. Now, a skin tone, I think, is quite, it's difficult to know what colour to do a skin, but one way is to use Naples Yellow and a little bit of pink. You don't want it going too blue, but let's test that. It's not too bad. I think that will probably do. Let's try it on her foot. As long as you don't make it too dark, it doesn't really matter. You can always darken it up or change it slightly. So this is just the undercoat again. And then a little bit on her neck, and then obviously she's got hair curling around here, so we'll just put some slightly darker brown there to indicate that. A little bit of shadow on her foot, and then on her arm. You see how that dries, and then we can adjust it. Let's have a little bit of green for the flower. Yeah. Okay, so we'll let her dry, and meanwhile we will go back into the background. And I'll re-wet that. As you know, these are all techniques that you can use for so many different paintings. It's not, you know, you're learning, as you follow what I'm doing, you're learning how to paint a landscape, basically. Let's make that a little bit more blue. And a little bit more yellow for the tree that I'm imagining is over here. But we're not going to paint any branches or anything like that. We're just going to leave that light green, and then just drag some green down behind the gate, the fence, and put some a little bit more grassy around here, and maybe on that side, and again a little bit around that fence post. And we're going to put some more pink flowers down here, I think. They will run, because I'm doing this on purpose. Some of them will run into the green. And then we want a little bit more grassy colour. Put some grass below here. And we want to put a little bit of shadow underneath where she's standing. So we'll do some broken shadow there. It's not quite dry yet. I'll just put a tiny little bit of shadow on the white of the t-shirt. and maybe a little bit more on her hat. We want to be fairly delicate with that, we don't want that to go too dark. And I think we had a little pocket here on her bottom. And then just to shadow a little bit. Don't like that. No, it needs to dry. So we let that dry and then we'll put the shadows in. But we can put some shadow on the fence. And I think okay, now it needs to dry. So everything's dry now, so I'm just going to pop in a few very fine grassy strokes. Around here. And maybe just a couple of spatters in the distance there. I won't use the toothbrush on this one. And I think we can call that done. So there we are, one cute little girl running across the garden with the flower for Grandma. Hope you enjoyed that. Give it a try. The sketch will be up on the website at dianeantone.com. If not tonight, then tomorrow. That is to say, by the time most people see this video, it will be up. And I'll say bye-bye for now, and I'll see you again tomorrow. So bye everyone. Bye-bye.